You are watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video.
"90% of you, well, you. No, this is not true. 90% of those who are watching this right now are watching it because they understand what I'm all about and what I'm trying to do. So this is not intended for 90% of the people who are watching it. Except maybe you can get the word out. We really do need to get the word out. Here's the point. 90% of the people who go into a big box store and buy an aquarium and fish and whatever else, take it home and put water in it and dump fish in it and kill them all and go back to the store and get new ones and bring them back and kill them all and go back to the store and get new ones and bring them back and kill them all. By the third time, they quit and the tank goes out on the curb. 90%. 90%. If there were a justification for banning the sale of tropical fish, that's it. That's the justification. 90% of the people who try to keep fish in their home fail. Why do they fail? Why do they fail? Well, I'll tell you why. It's really very simple. They fail because the industry is based on their failure. It's built upon replacement and buying new product at the very beginning of the process. Here's the point. Once a tank is set up and operational, sales to the local shop go just like that. They disappear. They drop off the map. Oh, there may be an attempt to pick up a new fish or two, but it ain't going to be anything like that initial sale. The tank, the light, the heater, the filter, the gravel, everything, all the chemicals that go into that initial sale. 2, 5, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever it is. Once that sale is made, and once those animals are stocked, there are no more sales unless you can get people to kill everything and come back and replace them, because every time they come back in the store, they get something else. You talk them into something else. That's the problem. That's the problem with the industry, and that's why the government needs to regulate it to put those assholes out of business. Unfortunately, in the process, everything else, pardon my French, goes to hell with it. So we're caught, aren't we? We're in a trap. We're in a bind, and it's one really of our own making. I've been trying to teach some basic skills since I've been here and long before that. And it's an uphill battle. There are a few, precious few, who get it, who tried it, who succeed, who are astounded and amazed and delighted and thrilled. What percentage? It's a good question. Probably 1%. 1% of the fish fam has tried this father fish system. Tried it. tried it. Of those who try it, 1 in 1,000 fail. Why did they fail? Because they deliberately sabotage it. Because it is an absolutely 100% foolproof system, guaranteed to work when a 3-year-old puts it together. It's so simple and so basic and so foreign to anything that the industry is teaching. So here we are. Here we are. What are we going to do about this? Well, I guess what we're going to do is we're going to suffer the indignity of having the government shut us down. What'll that leave? Don't really know. I hope it at least leaves us with the ability to collect and trade native species. It may not. It may not. It may preclude the transportation of any and all animal species across state lines. Might well do that. It might include, here's the thing you got to understand. This is a white list. That means only those items on the list are approved. Does that include natives? Certainly not. Does it preclude natives? Not necessarily. We don't know. It's all up to those who choose to implement it or choose how it's implemented. It's all up to the Fisheries and Department of the Interior. It's their call. We can maybe have some input and maybe not. We can maybe take them to court and maybe win and maybe lose. But we're up against it, folks, big time. And it's our own fault because we have failed utterly to create an environment in which people are keeping their fish alive and happy. 90%. I think that's not true. I think it's really more like 99%. I think less than 1% of the people who try to keep fish actually are able to do it. And of those, probably another 1% achieve real success. That's 1 in how much? 10,000? 1 in 10,000? How many is that in a million? 10 times 10. That's 100. 100 people out of every million succeed. 10 million, that's 10 times 100. That's 1,000. 1,000 in 10 million succeed. Those are not good numbers. And you know what? There's absolutely no excuse for it. None whatsoever. Keeping fish alive is the easiest thing in the world to do. You have to work at it to kill them. And the people who kill them do work at it because that's what they're told to do. Dump this in, dump that in, put that in, do this, do that. None of which is good for the animals. All of which is good for somebody's pocketbook. And those whose pocketbooks are going to be touched by this, what are they saying? Oh, well, it ain't no big deal. It's nothing. Nothing we should worry about. It'll be fine. We've been through this before. It ain't no big deal. Why are they saying this? Because they really don't care. They really don't. I mean, if this goes down the tubes, they'll be happy selling diapers because they know how to sell. Ice makers to Eskimos. Except we're not a bunch of Eskimos and we're not buying ice makers. We're trying to protect. We're trying to protect the animals of the earth, which the Lord God has given us responsibility for. And the government has said, you can't do this. You don't know how to do this. We tell you what to do. We tell you how to do it because we know best. Well, they know worse because the primary cause of destructive invasive species is government. It is government that has established populations of plants and animals that are destroying our environment. All of us can think of a dozen examples. And if you can't, look it up. Really. They're claiming to be solving a problem they've created. Well, it's a problem they've created, but on balance, there is no problem. There are 20,000 species of animals. 20,000 species of animals that are traded here in this country on an annual basis. That means 20,000 species of animals are living in people's homes here in our country today. Not for long. They're going to ban their importation. They're going to ban their interstate transportation. And the next step will be to confiscate. If they get the first two, you know they're going after the third. What in hell is all this about? What did I say? 1,000? 1,010 million? There aren't that many of us. Who are they going to really hurt? I got an email today from some character who said this isn't going to affect 90% of the people because they don't know how to keep fish alive anyway because they're too damn hard. You know, you can't buy any of these crazy oddball fish, and even if you can get them, you can't keep them alive. So what's the point? It's not going to bother anybody. You know what? He's right. He's right. 99% of the people of buy fish can't keep them alive. Why? Because they're doing what they told. They're doing what they're told. What are they told? How to kill fish. How to create an environment that is deadly, that is structured for the purpose of destroying life. That's what it is. You're dumping chemicals in there to do what? To kill stuff. That's what it's for. It's to kill stuff. You're killing plants. You're killing bacteria. You're killing parasites. You're killing living creatures. Now, what effect does that have on your fish? It kills them. It does. You don't put poison. You have a child. Here's a child. Child is sick. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Let's poison it. Let's put poison in them. It'll get rid of it. Right. Well, you know, there's a mentality that ascribes to that position. And unfortunately, it's a dominant one. It's a substantial portion of what we're facing today. And I won't say any more than that about that. Poison. Poison makes things better. Well, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It makes things worse. Stop poisoning. Start creating healthy environments. Dirt, dirt. Here, see this? You know what that is? This is magic soil. This is elements. This is about a dozen elements. You mix this in with your soil, and that soil will last for 10 years, long enough for it to replenish itself. What's in it? Well, I've got the ingredients posted. You can go out and buy them. No secret. I mean, I'll sell this to you if you want it. You can create a healthy, natural, wholesome environment. You can do it. It is very easy to do. I've got nearly 1,000 videos explaining how to do it. The top 27 videos on my channel explain precisely how to do it, how to create a natural system, how to create an environment that, here, let me show you. Here we are. Where are we? We're at Father Fish YouTube. Look at that. Click under search, Father Fish. Let's do it here. Father Fish. Right there. Bang. What's it bring you to? Father Fish. Click on Father Fish. There you go.
You are watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video.
Scroll down. This is our top video today about Noah.
Who is Noah?
Look at this.
Noah.
Playlist for each
Noah from the
experience
Old
level.
Testament story.
New fish
He's
keepers,
the guy who saved
advanced
about
fish
1,000
keepers,
species of
master
animals
fish keeper.
from
Let's click on
complete destruction.
new fish keepers. And there he is, Father Fish. And a little 10-gallon tank he created in one day. Look at this. Look at this. 27 videos. One after another, after another, after another. I'll tell you what, here's the challenge. Pick 5. Watch 5. Any 5, doesn't matter what. Pick the ones that seem of interest to you. Pick 5 and watch them. It'll take about an hour to do that. Once you've done that, you will have found, because it's in here somewhere, you will have found the elements, and here it is, ingredients for deepsubstrate. This is one of the first videos I ever made. Look at this. Look at this. Ingredients and the dirt.
Well, good morning. Father Fish here.
How many views has this had? It has had 15,900 views. Not a lot. 15,000 out of 150,000, 1.5 million. 15,000. That's one in about 1 in 1,000. All right, check it out, and then put it together.
Well, hello again.
You are watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video.
So what do we do about all this? What do we do about the fact that 99% of the people who try to set up a fish tank fail? What do we do about that? What we have to do is break down the existing non-technology technology that's currently being taught, and point of fact, that's currently being used as a means of deriving income, because it is counterintuitive and it is counterproductive. It doesn't work. If it doesn't work, it needs to be attacked. It needs to be defeated. And in its place needs to be established the means by which people can very simply and very easily create an aquatic environment that keeps fish and other animals and plants alive. Simple to do.
basic to do. It means going against the collected wisdom of those who are making the most money in this industry, because they're making the most money through a fallacious and a destructive set of principles that are not achieving the goal of allowing people, helping people, encouraging people to create aquatic environments that are successful. I mean, I don't know how much more I can say about that without running in circles, and I fear I'm already doing that. So here's the thing. This is what everyone needs to do. The brand new person setting up a tank for the first time. Here's what to do. This will work. I absolutely, unequivocally guarantee it. Buy a bag of potting soil. Now let's start as simply as you possibly can. We're not going to make this complicated. We're not going to add things to it. We're going to start with a tank that you can set up, a little tiny 10-gallon tank, or even a bowl. You can set it up in 15 minutes, be able to put fish in it right away, and expect them to live and thrive. Bag of potting soil. Take out enough to fill about 1 inch of the bottom of whatever container you're using. If it's a bowl, no more than 1 inch. It'll be a few cups. If it's a 10-gallon tank, about 10 pounds. You can test it first to see what it's going to do. Take it out or leave it in there and add a little bit of water to it. Not a whole lot. Just enough to make a mud pie. Not enough to make mud soup. You want a thick stew, like a porridge, like a mud pie. That consistency. Get it to that level, and then you're going to also have to have collected or bought some sand. Now, don't use play sand. It's dirty. Wait a minute. Go ahead and put it in. Play sand. Any sand at all. So long as it doesn't dissolve in the water. Put in 2 inches of sand on top of that dirt. 2 inches. So 1 inch of dirt, 2 inches of sand. Now, put a plastic bag or a plate or something else in there on top of that sand, so when you put water in, it doesn't stir everything up. Do that. Put the water in. Now, if you have water that has chlorine and ammonia in it, chloramines it's called, call your local water supply or talk to your local fish store to find out. If you have chloramines in your water, you must remove them because they don't go away all by themselves. Just chlorine, don't worry about it. If you have free chlorine, what's called free chlorine, nothing else added, don't worry about it. It'll go away as soon as you start bubbling the water. In fact, it'll go away as you're putting the water into the tank. It is a gas. It dissipates out of the water virtually instantly. Chloramine, however, is another matter. Let me get off the track here a little bit. Chloramine is the addition of ammonia to chlorine. Those are two extremely caustic, extremely toxic poisons that are added to local municipal water supplies. The reason the ammonia is added is simply because the chlorine is a gas and it gases off. Now, it doesn't gas off when it's in a pipe because there's nowhere for it to go. It gases off after it comes out of your faucet and is sitting in a pitcher, a glass, a pot, whatever. That's when it gases off. And that's when you want it to gas off. But some of these complete imbeciles in water treatment plants believe that you shouldn't be allowed to do that. You must be required to drink this poison, this chlorine and this ammonia that's put in there to bond to the chlorine to make it a liquid molecule. So here we are. You got to get rid of it. I use sodium thiosulfate crystals. You don't have to use this. You can use anything that's sold in the local fish store. In point of fact, you can use vitamin C in sufficient quantity. It will remove it'll break the bond between the chlorine and the ammonia, which will release the chlorine. The ammonia is still going to be there. So you need to put a lot of plants in there because the plants eat up ammonia. All right, little chemistry lesson there. Put the water in. If it is has chlorine and ammonia, put something in to remove it. There are all kind of products to break the bond and remove the chlorine. Plant it. Buy plants. Buy cheap plants. Lots of cheap plants. Don't put 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 sprigs in. Fill it up. Put a lot of plants in it right away. Day one, fill it up with plants. The formula for a successful planted tank is 75% of the tank should be plants. Fill it up. Lots of plants. Then add a few fish. Not a lot. If it's a 10-gallon tank, maybe a dozen guppies. A few. Just a few. Put a light on it and let it sit there for a week. Do not put food in the tank. No food of any kind. None. Zilch, nada, nothing. No food. The fish that are in there will chew on the plants. They will find other matter in there to be able to survive. No food. You put food in, you're going to create an imbalance instantly that'll blow the whole system and kill everything. No food. After a week, you can put 1 grain of food in per fish. That's 12 microscopic grains per 12 fish. That's it. That'll last 2 or 3 days. Then you can do it again. In other words, go slow. Now, if you will do this, just like I said, do exactly that, you will have the best tank you have ever had in your life. You'll have a tank that'll grow plants, it'll support fish, and as it matures, you'll be able to do more with it. You'll be able to put higher order plants, maybe nicer plants in. You'll be able to add more fish, but you don't do it day one. You put a lot of plants in and a few fish in day one, and you let it sit for at least a week. A week later, add a few more fish. If they all die, put a few more in. Take them out or press them down into the sand and put a few more in. It's going to balance itself. It's going to be okay. Don't fret over it. Don't panic. If you lose a couple of fish, you lose a couple of fish. It ain't the end of the world. You're not spending $15 a fish. You're spending $1, maybe less, maybe 50 cents. Now, they're not sacrificial. They're not meant to be. But things happen that we have little or no control over. It shouldn't, but it does. If it does, move on. Don't be overwhelmed by it. Don't be panicked by it. Don't feel like the world is coming to an end, that you failed. Let it sit there for a day or two, add a few more. It will be fine. Okay, so here we are. This is what we're doing. We're creating a healthy environment. How are we doing it? By putting in place the basics of a healthy environment. That does not include gravel. It does not include chemicals. Gravel and chemicals are out, as is fish food. Fish food is a toxin in a new tank. It's toxic to a new tank. The tank is not capable of handling it. It overwhelms what little bit of biological system is developing and creates pollution. Don't do it. Don't feed your new fish. They're going to be fine. So long as you have a lot of plants in there, they're going to nibble at the plants. They will even find microscopic life growing on those plants. Little microfauna, little tiny microscopic animals living on the plants that are going to get down into the sand, and they're going to cultivate that sand. They're going to grow in there. They're going to build, in other words, a food web. So here's step 2, the next step. After a week, add some leaves. What kind of leaves? Dried old dead leaves, preferably that are coming out of a creek or a stream or a pond, that are somewhat desiccated, somewhat broken down. If they are, they've got a lot of things living on them that are going to be beneficial to your tank. Bring them in, not a whole lot, small handful. Put them in the tank. If you'll create a jar, what we call a resurrection jar, put some mud and leaves in that water, set it on the windowsill, you'll see in a matter of a week or so a plethora of life, a world filled with life. You can start taking bits of that out and put it in your tank. It's very, very healthy. Bring nature into your tank. That's the key. That's the key. The key is natural. The key is what God has given us, not what 3M has given us, not what the chemical purveyors of the world are trying to convince us will make and keep us healthy. Do this. Just do this. And after the first month, here's where I need your help. After the first month, with this tank exploding with life, everything going wonderfully, go into the local big box store and laugh at the people buying gravel. Laugh at them. Tell them, oh my God, you're not doing that, are you? Oh, how awful, I did that. It kills everything. Kills everything. Start a conversation. Start it online. Listen, there are plenty of places online that need a dose of reality. YouTube chief among them. Get the word out. Communicate what you have learned. Share. And be abrasive about it if you need to be. Somebody says to you, well, I'd never put dirt in my tank. And you look at them and say, no. Huh. How many fish you killed? You know, get in their face about it. They don't know what they're talking about. They really haven't got a clue. You do. So teach what you know. You see, in one day, you can be an expert. You can have knowledge that 99 out of 100 people know. 999 out of 1,000 people don't know. You can have that level of knowledge, that level of understanding, and that ability to create a healthy environment for fish. Just do it. Just do it. We need to turn this thing around. If we're going to save this hobby, by God, now's the time to do it, or it'll be gone. It'll be gone in a flash. There are plenty of them out there, plenty of folks out there who would like very much to see it gone. And they're busting their butts to make it happen. Don't you believe they're not? And they're pretty close to making it happen. So get on the ball. Do this. Don't think about it. Just do it. And then when you get over that hump and realize what a wonderful thing you have done, talk about it, promote it, get excited about it, teach it. Insist that other people who are thinking about it get over their hesitation and do it. Just do it. We can turn this whole thing around in 24 hours. We can turn it around. We can teach people, a predominant number of people, very simply, very easily, how to set up a tank that's going to last them year after year after year. Now, once you get this first one done, you can get a little more sophisticated with the next one. And I invite you to look at some of the videos I've made that explain how to do that. So let's get on the ball with this, guys. We need to do it. If we're going to save our hobby from the gravel monsters and those who want to shut down 99% of the fish we have, we better get on the ball and do it now. Bless you all. Love you all. Bye for now.
You are watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video.